Aloha! Welcome back to Story Time. I'm here with Shizu, oh she's walking away, and Charlie Boy. We are going to read the second half of the book we started last week. This book is called Kona Coffee Days. It is written by Tomoe Nimori, Millicent Towata Grand, and Kay Uno Kaneko. This book chronicles the lives of 4 kids who were living in Kona in the 1930s. And where we left off was they were just in school, and their teacher has informed them that they will not have a summer vacation. They will be having a coffee vacation. So the kids are shocked at the news. They're anxious about what that means for them. So we're going to continue the story and see how their coffee season goes. All right. After school, Kimo, Lani, and Yoshi and Sachi walked together, still complaining about coffee vacation. "Oh, it's not so bad," said Lani. "We can make some extra money picking coffee for the neighbors." And here's a photo of a little boy picking coffee. Sachi turned to Lani and said, "It would be fun if we could pick together. I'll ask my parents, but we have a lot to do at home." "Like what?" questioned Lani. "We all get up before sunrise. Dad washes the coffee beans and we have to spread them on the hoshidana to dry," explained Sachi. "How do you do that?" asked Lani. "We use a wooden pusher to spread them over the platform. Then we rake through them to let the sun shine on every part of the beans," answered Sachi, pleased that Lani was interested. "What if it rains?" Lani asked. "When we see dark clouds, we have to run home and push the roof on wheels over the platform. Do you want to hear something funny? When Uncle Masa from Japan first saw the roof moving, he screamed, 'The house is moving!'" We laughed and laughed. Sachi chuckled as she talked. Here's a picture of a little boy. He is raking coffee on the hoshidana. This is a drying platform. Hi, Charlie Boy. Do you want to see? Okay. "Who takes care of your little sister and baby brother while you pick coffee?" continued Lani. "Well, sister goes with us to pick up the coffee that falls on the ground and puts them in her can. Mom straps baby to her back while she picks." Sachi smiled. "I empty my adult-sized basket all the time into the burlap bag because it gets too heavy. Besides, I love to hear the sound of coffee as it drops into my empty lauhala basket." "How do you pick the berries at the top of the tree?" Lani was still curious. "We use a hook and ladder. We all fight for the tall trees so we can sit and rest a moment at the top of the ladder. There we can catch a cool breeze as we use the hook to pull a branch down. But you should see how funny we look trying to move from tree to tree with our basket, hook, and ladder." "How long does it take you to fill up a bag?" Lani asked. "All day. You see, we have to carefully pick only the red berries. During the season, we go back many times to the same tree as the green berries ripen." Suddenly, Sachi realized how slowly they were walking. "Oh, I'm going to be late to Japanese school." As Sachi turned and ran up the path to the school, she called out, "Bye! See you tomorrow!" When August arrived and coffee vacation started, Sachi and Yoshi picked coffee with the help of Lani and Kimo. They always went home very tired at the end of the day, but it was nice to work with friends. And here we have a picture of 3-year-old Lorna, who is picking coffee in, here in Kona. It doesn't have a date on it. School was a place for children to meet with friends, while stores were the social centers for adults. Storekeepers like Mr. Yokoyama helped farmers write letters and order special equipment. Sachi and Yoshi's father, Kenji, often spent evenings with the neighbors at the Yokoyama store to discuss the latest news and the weather. They were always worried that there would not be enough rain. "How much water do you have in your water tank?" inquired Mr. Uno, with a concerned look on his face. "We haven't had any rain for 3 months, and the trees won't produce much coffee next year." "I'm afraid I'll lose some of my trees," said Kenji. "And I'm afraid we won't be able to sit together if we can't bathe or wash our clothes," joked Mr. Sato. They also talked a lot about coffee prices. So this is a really cool picture because it's just down the road from where I am right now. This is a picture of the Manago Hotel in Captain Cook in 1924. Hey guys. Did you read in the Kona Echo that the coffee prices are dropping? Asked Kenji. I might not have enough money to pay for all the things we will need, said Mr. Sato. Now I'll have to tell my 2 workers that I can't pay them as much as I promised. The majority of store owners dealt with American Factors, a wholesale company and coffee mill that accepted coffee for payment of goods. Farmers obtained food and supplies from the stores with the promise of coffee as payment. Isn't it a shame that we never have enough money to clear all our charges? Every year we owe more and more money and keep hoping that coffee prices will be higher. My dream is to be free of debt, stated Mr. Sato. One day, Sachi and Yoshi went to the store with their father. While waiting for him, they heard Mr. Sato say that the coffee companies could not find buyers for coffee. Don't they like our coffee? Asked Kenji. Mr. Yokoyama explained, yes, they do, but people in the rest of the country are without work. Without jobs, they cannot afford to buy coffee. So this is a picture of the Yamagata family in 1920 in front of their store. Kenji worried. If the coffee companies don't buy coffee, Mr. Yokoyama can't take my coffee as payment for food and supplies I charged all year. Sachi and Yoshi wondered what would happen to them. At least Dr. Hayashi, the only doctor in the area, always helped. When children were sick, he refused payment of money, and instead he received vegetables. At school, Sachi and Yoshi discovered that some of their friends were moving to the city. Their parents had to sell their farms because they couldn't pay for all their debts. Do we have to sell our farm and move too? They asked father. Kenji sadly said, I don't know. Sachi and Yoshi understood their father's sad mood. He had planted the seedlings when they first came to Kona. He often told them how difficult it was to dig the holes between the hard lava rocks to plant the seedlings. They knew how their parents struggled with very little money while they waited 3 years to harvest the first crop. Here's a photo from 1923. This is the Kaneko sisters. I worked so hard helping Mom and Dad prune trees last January, sighed Yoshi. Remember in February when the trees were covered with beautiful coffee blossoms? It looked like snow. At least we won't have to sprinkle fertilizer every spring and summer, added Sachi. I wonder if there will be anyone to pick the coffee this September, wondered Yoshi. Finally, American Factors agreed to let them pay back only a small amount of the money they owed. Sachi and Yoshi jumped with joy when they heard the news. They could continue living in beautiful Kona with friends like Lani and Kimo. They could even keep Spunky. I must tell Lani the good news, said Sachi, and ran off as Yoshi called after her, tell Kimo too. In the distance, they could hear Spunky as he brayed, hee-haw, hee-haw. And our last photo is a beautiful portrait of Kona Nightingales, all lined up. There you go, guys. Thanks for joining us for this story time. I had a lot of fun reading this book with you, and I hope you enjoyed it. We will see you next week for another story. Bye.